Hey, everybody, happy Tuesday. Welcome to a weekly conference call for the Red Earth team. Matt Ham here. We got some new folks coming into the mix, a couple new hires, a couple of different communities. So, welcome. We appreciate you guys catching this live on the call. Also, those who are catching this on the replay on the YouTube channel. Part of our commitment to the Red Earth team is just having these calls once a week just to stay encouraged because you get busy. Our minds get focused on other things and we get rocking and rolling. And sometimes it's great to just pause for a moment and refresh and get some encouragement in there. And that is my role. One of the things I get to do is hopefully encourage you guys and bring some helpful ideas and thoughts and inspiration to the table. Always want to let you guys know we are available in a one-to-one capacity if anybody ever wants to go through a client situation, help with some closing or some marketing ideas or just some general encouragement. That's what I'm here for. John pays me to be a part of the team in this way, and I'm available. So if you guys have any needs there, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm going to drop my cell phone. It's 910-619-4644, or you can hit me up on email, matt@uprint.life, matt@youprint.life. Just before the call, I was telling one of our team members here, had a bit of a frustrating weekend. I have 5 children. The older 3 are boys, and 2 of those 3 are identical twins, and they just ramped up baseball season. And we found out after their baseball game, they were roughhousing, and one of them broke their foot. So we've been in orthopedic offices, and a little bit frustrating, nothing major. But things like that, always get you off and can kind of throw your emotions when you're dealing with something personally. And I found myself in that space yesterday. As their dad, they had done great in their baseball tournament, and I wanted so much for them to really dive in, and they're really excelling as some of the better players on their team. And of course, now he's going to be sidelined for 4 weeks, and so I had to coordinate with my wife. He stayed home from school. He can't walk. Had to carry him into the orthopedic office and wait for 2 hours to get the boot. And I was just in a kind of a funky space, right? And I had a phone call, or actually had touched base with a good friend of mine, and she was so encouraging for me, and she has just a very inspiring story. And so today I wanted to tell y'all about my friend Sunshine. Now, you might say this has very little to do with real estate, and it doesn't. It doesn't have a whole lot to do with real estate at all, but it is a great story just about the human condition and about the capacity that people have to inspire us. And Miss Sunshine is a great inspiration for me, and I just wanted to share briefly her story and what she's up to. So I met Sunshine. Her name is Mary Sunshine Gunn. That's her full name, but she's always gone by her middle name, Sunshine. And she is just that. She is a wonderful woman. She is a 65-year-old black lady, and she is full of life. And I met her through another friend of ours, Stephanie, who was doing a weekly prayer meeting. And I met this woman, and it's like she embodies her name, Sunshine. She just carries this energy. She's so positive and she's hilarious. And I just came to love this woman. I mean, it was almost like she was somehow related to me, like far off, and we were like, connected somehow, by some kindred spirit. But Sunshine grew up in Alabama, actually. She grew up in Birmingham, Alabama. And she was telling me her story just about growing up in a large family, being growing up as a black woman in a black family in Alabama when she did. She's 65 now, so she would have been born in the late 50s, early 60s, and so she experienced a lot of challenges with racism and so forth. But she always said that she just had a capacity for love that always pushed beyond any bitterness that she had the choice to pick up but didn't. And I just loved hearing her stories, something that I couldn't relate to, but she's so tenderhearted and sweet about it all. But she grew up, and at 18 years old, she wanted to get out of Alabama. And so she did, and she got married at a young age, and her husband was actually in the service. And she had two sons and was raising her sons. And so, fast forward to when she's in her 30s, in the early 90s, they were living in the Indiana area, and her husband actually had a stroke while he was deployed and passed away. So she was left as a single mom with two kids, looking to raise those boys. And, she went for, 5 to 7 years in a very difficult environment, just having to raise her sons, without her husband now. She had lost her husband, and she was doing odd jobs, just trying to continue to make money and put food on the table. And she was very, very committed to work and had a great work ethic. And then she ended up remarrying in the late 90s, and she married an older gentleman. And interestingly enough, he struggled with diabetes, and he had very a lot of challenges with the circulation in his lower extremities. If you know this, somebody has diabetes, their blood circulation is compromised, and that's why a lot of times diabetics end up having to have their feet amputated. And so it was the case with her husband that she began to work on his feet. And she told me the other day, we were sitting down, and she just said, "Honey, I used to get his feet and I used to rub them, massage them." And she said, "I would pray over them. And, I took my little scalpel that I used to kind of clean nails." And she said, "I would scrape the bottom of his foot and nothing, no response." And she said, I kept working and I kept massaging his feet. I kept praying over him. And after about 25 days, I scraped the bottom of his foot and he jumped. And I said, "Oh my goodness, we've got something happening here. He's starting to get feeling back in his legs." And so what was amazing about this is they went to his doctor for his diabetes. And the doctor said, "I don't know what you have been doing to your husband's feet, but you can help save a lot of people from a lot of pain." And the crazy thing is this woman had always had a desire and a dream to open up a foot care business. And so here Miss Sunshine is in her later years of life, and she started a foot care business in Fort Wayne, Indiana, after walking with her husband through his struggles of circulation with diabetes. And she had that foot care business for the better part of 20 years. And that husband also passed away. So now she is an empty nester. Her sons have moved out, and she's later in life, 55 years old. And because of a friend, she found her way to Wilmington, North Carolina. And she always had a desire to reopen her foot care business, but she couldn't because the licensing from different states was a challenge. And then in 2015, she was in a very bad car accident, and her hands were both broken and compromised. And so she said, "Matt, I thought that my dream of reopening my foot care business would have been finished." And, she began to do exercises and therapy on her hands, starting to get her hands back. But she was terrified to step back into business because she just didn't know if it was going to work. And she had nearly given up on that dream of opening a foot care business. And so I met Sunshine on the back end of this, and she was telling me about her desire to do this. This was her passion. It's what she loved to do. She said, "I used to when I was growing up, I remember used to always take care of my mama's feet or my sister's feet." She said, "I've just always had this desire to love people this way." And it was amazing to me because in that moment I told her, I said, "Sunshine, you've got to do this." And I said, "You're going to do this." And I took a picture with her one day after we had gotten together and talked through some of the things that she was working on. And I simply posted it to Facebook. And I said, "I'm excited for this woman to follow her dream and her passion of reopening her foot care business. And I want you to join me in celebrating Miss Sunshine." And I tagged her in it on Facebook. Well, lo and behold, all of her contacts from Fort Wayne, Indiana that were still on Facebook started seeing this picture, and they said, "Oh my goodness, Sunshine, you're opening back up your foot care business," which she calls Pamper Me with Love. And it so happened that she started getting requests from her old clients in Fort Wayne, Indiana to go back up there and take care of some foot services for him. And so she, at 65 years old, all by herself, loads up her car and drives to Fort Wayne, Indiana, and works for 3 consistent weeks. And she did over 100 foot care appointments in those 3 weeks. And she was blown away at how many people wanted to engage in this. And that moment allowed her to have enough money to come back to Wilmington, where we live here in Wilmington, North Carolina. And March 1st, Miss Sunshine opened Pamper Me with Love here in Wilmington, North Carolina. And I went in on her first day and just talked to her and got to know her business. And she's got some business cards and she's got an online booking thing. And, she told me that her rent, she needs to pay her rent each month for the place that she's renting. And it's 5 appointments, 5 packages or foot care packages that'll pay for the rent for 1 month. And in the very first week that she was open, the first 2 days actually, she had 5 total appointments. So March is already taken care of, and now she's in week 2. And so yesterday, when I was kind of down on myself, frustrated with my son breaking his foot and just having kind of a pity party, I went to see Miss Sunshine, and I let Miss Sunshine do what Miss Sunshine does. And she gave me a wonderful pedicure, if you will, minus the nail polish. She said, usually the men don't get nail polish. I said, no, don't put no nail polish on my toes there, Miss Sunshine. I can't handle that. But it was a wonderful, wonderful experience. And as she was doing what she does and she was pouring into me, I really thought to myself, I wonder what it would look like if every one of us was as committed to our careers as Sunshine is to taking care of people's feet. Y'all, it blew me away. I mean, it's a whole nother level. This woman works with so much passion and so much love and so much commitment to her craft. Back 20 years ago, when she was getting into the business, she actually went to Canada and went to a podologist school and has this degree in podology. It's crazy. And it's like you wouldn't picture that this woman has this kind of education, but she put everything into it. And now 20 years later, after the loss of her husband, after her car wrecks, after everything's been trying to stop her, she has opened this foot care business. And I'm just going to tell you, it inspired me to take a new level of commitment to my work that had been lost. Because listen, we get busy. We've got things going on. We're making some sales here. We've got things we've got to keep up with. We've got our to-do lists, and so we're working through our week or whatever. But a lot of times I find myself realizing that my heart is not in the work. I'm just going through the motions. My heart's not truly in the work that I've got to do every day. And listen, there are parts of the work that I do that my heart is in. And this weekend when I got to go travel and speak on Sunday, I was all in. But yesterday when I was having to go through and do some invoices, do some paperwork and do some follow-up, my heart wasn't in it. I was just going through the motions until Miss Sunshine reminded me. And one of the things that she said to me this is where I want to bring it back to you guys and relate. I can't explain this. I just have a feeling that you guys in your communities are getting ready to see a massive, massive wave of opportunity. I just have a feeling that there's so many people who've been sitting on the sidelines, so many people who over the last year have been awakened to things. And what you all offer in these private amenitized communities, there's so many financial resources that are on the sideline. And there's going to be so many people that are going to be craving what it is that you can offer them. And it's going to take a massive amount of commitment and a massive amount of action to be ready for what's coming. And so, I look at Miss Sunshine yesterday and I said, Miss Sunshine, how old are you? And she said, I'm 65. And I said, no way. And I said, tell me about getting this place open and, going back to Fort Wayne. She said, honey, I went back to Wayne, and I did over 100 foot care appointments in 3 weeks. And she said, you know, the sad thing about it is so many people have forgotten how to work. And what she was saying is not just busy work, not just being prideful about how much work we can get done, but she was talking about pouring herself out and just being kind of like tireless. She's like, I just get in a zone and all I want to do is talk with people and take care of their feet. And again, you all may look at this and go, what the heck is he talking about? This makes no sense. And that's fine. Um, I'm just speaking from my heart to you guys that sometimes we need to dive deep into getting re inspired in our work. And a lot of times that looks like getting beyond ourselves and the constant challenges and struggles that we have. Because if this woman is so fiercely dedicated to taking care of people's feet, to get her $250 a month rent paid so that she might be able to make, $30,000 to $40,000 a year and be as happy as a clam doing it, then there's absolutely no reason why folks like ourselves who have ridiculous opportunities to go out and make a ton of financial resources and a ton of impact on families to not get jazzed up and fired up about what it is that we do. And truthfully, I was talking to another guy I work with, and I said, man, if what you're doing is not fun, then you really need to dig deep and question if you're doing the right thing. And so I just want to challenge you guys today to tap back into the fun of the work that you get to do. Tap back into a fierce commitment to your craft and trade, and tap back into massive action that is going to just allow you to pour into the lives of people that you have the opportunity to touch and influence every day. And so for me, Sunshine was a fantastic motivator this week. And she even texted me this morning and told me that she ran into some challenges, and we're going to be working with her on trying to get that resolved and be helping her through that with some issues with like where she has to have her water and all. So it's not without difficulty and challenge, but I just wanted to share that with you all today from a very heartfelt place, and hopefully it's something that you guys can relate to. But regardless if it's Sunshine's story or another story, find a way to hold fast to the inspiration that you need to get fiercely dedicated and committed to love what you do and to pour out into the lives of the people that you have the opportunity to touch. And if those things aren't clicking, you've got to do the deep work and be introspective and look in and say, okay, what's going on here? Why? If I'm not fiercely dedicated to this, if I'm not fired up to get up every day and get in and do what we do, then you got to check your heart and you got to check your commitments. And so a little bit of inspiration coupled with a wake-up call today. So as always, if you guys need anything, feel free to reach out to me. I appreciate you those who jumped on the live call. For those who are catching this on replay, let's be like sunshine and let's bring some sunshine to the world around us because it desperately needs it. You guys have a good one.